أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على نبي الكريم وعلى آله كقدر ومقدار العظيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu, brothers and sisters in the religion of Islam. Welcome to another episode of our global Quranic Tafsir series. Today, inshallah, we'll be discussing verse 21 and from 21 to 24 of SURATUL BAQARA. This verse is a global invitation to the path of righteousness. That is a global invitation to the oneness, to the worship of one true Lord who created man. The Quran is telling us this Quran is the book that invites mankind to the worship of one true God who created man and created this whole world. So this world belongs to no one but the creator, that is Allah. And only the service to that God can bring harmony to our lives. But service to any other thing else can only bring destruction into our lives. And if we look at the way the world is going today, the world is about to witness a form of destruction that has never been seen before in our history, in the history of humanity, because the world has never gone astray to the extent which it has gone in this our age. So this is a perfect time for us to now evaluate that, to reveal the teachings of the Quran, so that those that will be guided, and those that are condemned already for destruction will lead to their destruction. May Allah protect us and our loved ones from those category of people who are ordained for destruction. May Allah protect us from such things. Allah is now saying in the Quran, Ya ayyuhan nas, that is whole mankind, O you mankind. Allah is now inviting the whole of mankind. Me, the white man, the black man, the Australoid, the Caucasoid, the Mongoloid, the Negroid, that is any form of race that you are. There is no racism before Allah. We are all one. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, we are all as equal as the teeth of comb before Allah. Nobody has any preference above the other except the one who has faith. If my faith is more than your faith, this is when Allah will now draw me closer to himself than you. So it is by virtue of faith that we are graded before our Creator, not by virtue of our skin or our family or our all those things are temporary issues. They are not going to be there forever. So Allah is calling us, oh you man, whether you're black or white, a child or an adult, whatever it is that you are, ibudu rabbakum allazi khalaqakum. Worship your Lord, the one who created you. Whatever it is that you see that you are, he created you that way. He created us from one man and one woman, and nobody can tell whether they were black or white, but they were one. And whether we are black or white, we all descend from this one man and one woman. So he's now calling us using our own universal identity, that identity of which man has been identified in the kingdom of God. We should worship him, the one who created us, وَالَّذِينَ مِن قَبْلِكُمْ, and the ones before us. Before man should inherit this earth, there were people. Allah created some beings to inherit the earth. According to Mufti Ismail ibn Musa Menk, in his Qasasul Anbiya series, that is stories of prophets, the one he usually do during Ramadan, in the year 2011, he explained that lecture that before the creation of Adam, Allah created some beings known as Bim. That is the first creation to inherit the earth. But this creation, these beings, they became rebellious against the Almighty Allah, and then Allah sent the jinns to destroy them and inherit the earth. So the jinns took over the earth from them. And after thousands of years, the jinns also became rebellious, and Allah decided to exterminate them all. And Allah sent some angels to destroy them all. But they found out that there was one who was pious among them, a very young one. And that one appears to be Iblis, that is Shaitan, the one that we know today to be the devil. As at that time, he was a pious servant of Allah. And so he was not destroyed, he was taken into the heavens to dwell among the angels. He was the only race of the jinns that was left alive. And after some years, Allah now decided to create humans, and then he created Adam. So the ones before us are the jinns and the beings. Allah created them all. وَالَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, in order that you might be pious, you might be conscious in your behavior, you might be conscious of your creator, and you might be pious. So ibadah leads to high level of consciousness. If you are worshiping Allah and yet you are heedless of Allah in your heart is not sensitive towards Allah, and yet you call yourself, you claim to be worshiping God all the time, and yet your heart is not, your heart is not conscious of your Lord, then is an indication that your worshiping is rejected, your worshiping is not accepted. Maulana Shahul Islam Alhaji Ibrahim Iyas radiallahu ta'ala anhu explains this phenomenon in his Tafsir. He said, uh, whenever a man performs any deed, إذا عمل عملا يرفع الملائكة إلى السماء الدنيا فينظروه ملك السماء الدنيا. Anytime anyone does any deed, the angels will elevate that deed to the first heavens, and then the angels in the first heaven will observe that deed. ردوء هذا العمل على وجه صاحبه فإنه حاسد أو مقتاب. And then if the angels notice anything in that deed, let's say for example they saw hasada, that is, you have bad intention towards others, or they saw backbiting in your deed, they will say, return this deed back to its owner, it shall not be accepted in the heavenly realm. على وجه فإنه حاسد في سماء السانية أو متكبر أو معجب أو حاسد أو مراه أو طلب سمعت فإذا تجا. So the ones they notice anything or arrogance, that is mutakabbir, that is أو معجب, or you keep seeing yourself as if that's what Shaitan was doing. He saw himself as if he's the only one worshiping Allah. أو حاسد أو مراه, or you just do it for people to see, to entertain people, or you want people to hear that this is what you are doing. فإذا تجاوز السماوات كلها يصل إلى الله تبارك وتعالى فيقول الله تبارك وتعالى إن الإنسان أخفى عنكم ما في وأنا لا يخفى علي شيء. And even if this you happen to this deed managed to pass through all the angels to the presence of the Almighty Allah, Allah will say, this man has hid something from you, O you my angels, but me, Allah, no one hides anything from me. There is the intention of this man is not meant for the pleasure of the Almighty Allah, and Allah knows it, and Allah will reject his deed. May Allah protect us from that situation. And that is why if you are in constant worshipping of Allah and yet you are not conscious of Allah, then you should question yourself, because that worshipping of yours is not accepted in the heavenly realm. May Allah protect us from that. He just said, Rasulullah alayhi salatu wassalam, الذي جعل لكم الأرض فراشا. It is Allah that has made this earth for us something that is flat. And that's why we can stand on it, we can sit on it. The way I'm seated now, we can lie on the earth. Had it been Allah has made it to be upside down or to be standing, we will not be able to stand on it. So it is Allah that has made the earth to be as flat as it is, and that's why we can stand on it, we can even build on it, we can walk, we can run, we can do all the things that we're doing. No man did that for us. Allah did it for us. وَالسَّمَاءَ بِنَاءً, and He has made the heavens to be a roof over us. And this roof is a kind of roof that never decays. It never gets rotten. It never depreciates. Thousands of years, only God knows when this heavens was created, and yet look at it, it never changes. Look at the ones we are building here. Look at our tall buildings, even our skyscrapers. All the tall buildings in the world, one day they will depreciate. Some will even collapse, just like 911. But the heaven will never ever collapse. Only when Allah wills it to collapse. That is a sama'un fatarat. That is, that time will come that even the heaven itself will fall asunder. That is by the will of Allah. And prior to that time, nothing can bring down this heaven. Not even the amount of arrows we will shoot up to the heavens. Not even the amount of rockets that has been launched by our gigantic nations on earth like Russia, America, China, all these gigantic nations that are launching a lot of rockets into the heavens. They can never bring down the heavens because Allah has made it a perfect building that none but Him. And even the earth, the Russian scientists, they dig the earth 13 kilometers down, and they discovered a pit that leads to hell. And they heard the voices of people screaming in that pit. But yet they were not able to destroy the earth. Even if you dig to any extent, you did not create the earth, so you cannot destroy the earth. Even if you launch your nuclear weapons, you can never bring this world to an end, except when the Almighty Creator, the one who created it, wills it to come to an end. You can throw all your missiles. Today, Russia alone has the capacity of more than 7,000 nuclear weapons. But yet, he himself is afraid to use it, because if you kill everybody in the world, then who will you live with? You yourself will be alone in the world. Then who are you going to rule? So just the creation of nuclear weapons is just to create fear in the heart of the opponents. Because even the one who created it, no matter how much you spend on it, you cannot use it. Because if you use it, it can even backfire. May Allah protect us from the evil of such things. We just said, Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, وَأَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً, and it is Allah that brings down the rain from the heavens. No white man can do that. The one that claims that he can do it, whatever kind of that rain is harmful. Those that are claiming that they can create rain, they will just spray some chemicals in the heavens, and you will see it will form cloud and it will start raining. Such rains are harmful to the human body and even to our plants. You only create more damage than good. Nobody can bring down the rain but Allah. We can only pray. And Alhamdulillah, our Prophet ﷺ gave us a prayer formula to pray whenever we are seeking for rain, whether in the dry season or in the wet season. If we want rain from Allah, we can just turn our clothes upside down and go to our field of prayer with our Khalifa or our leader as our Imam, and will lead us in the prayer, and we are going to pray Salatul Istisqa, and by the will of Allah, the rain will come down. It's always by the will of Allah. It's just a permission. You can seek for it as a servant of God. You can seek for rain from God, and He will bring down that rain for you. When we were young, there was this famous song we were singing. Mama, 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 yo, papa, 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 yo, send out the rain. You know, those days they were referring to God, but it's not mama and papa are not God, but they were just referring. They say she sent down the rain. Mama and papa cannot bring down the rain. Only God Almighty can bring down the rain. فأخرج بي من الثمرات رزقا لكم فلا تجعلوا لله أندادا وأنتم تعلمون. And Allah brings forth for us plants and postures, and we consume. Even our animals consume from these plants. Whenever there is rainfall, our farms, our lands are being vegetated. But the Prophet ﷺ warned us of a time that will come in the end of days when there will be too much of rain, but yet the plants will not produce. May Allah protect us from the evil of such time. And it's like we are already in that time. Today, if you look at the world today, we are suffering, we are witnessing a lot of rainfalls in the world, but yet our plants are not growing. There is shortage of food all over the globe, and yet there is too much population in the world. So the world is going to that phase that we are now seeing scarcity of not just food, of a lot of things, because the global population, we are not the global availability of labor cannot provide us with our needs. And that is because people are lazy. Nobody wants to engage themselves in natural activities like farming, animal rearing, cattling, and all these things. These are very important things, but we prefer to just earn a certificate and work in a company or in a government work. These things are causing more catastrophe to us than good. When you earn money, but you don't have what to do with that money, what to purchase, what's the essence of earning the money? A time will come, you even have the money, but you find no commodity or good to produce, because the farmers don't farm anymore. Those who their animals don't refuse to do that. So even if you earn that money, you will not see anything to purchase with that money. May Allah protect us from such situation. So فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا, do not make any images equal to God for you in service. Even if it is your desire, don't equate your own desire to God. Even if it is an image or an icon or somebody that you so much love, never in your life equate such a person to God. And that is why our Prophet ﷺ warned us not to ever equate him with Allah. Because if we do such a thing, then on Judgment Day, he will be prevented with the chance to intercede for us. And that is the problem. That is why Jesus Christ, the Messiah, the true Messiah, the Son of Mary, on Judgment Day cannot intercede for his nation. Why? Because his nation calls him God. So if he intercedes for them, they will say their God, their Lord has interceded for them, which is going, and Allah is going to be very angry with that. So he will not even dare to do that, to intercede for his nation, because his nation has named him. They have named him a name which is equal to God, which is very, very wrong. And so our Prophet warned us, and alhamdulillah, no Muslim has ever taught that our Prophet is God. And such a thing is not even accepted in Islam. And so Allah is warning us not to create any images that will equate with him. And we will know, we are aware that we are creating these images and we are associating them as partners to Allah. So shirk, Allah will punish his servant if he associates any partner to him knowingly. What if it's unknowingly? Then there is a chance of forgiveness, because Allah, the Prophet ﷺ prayed that Allah should not punish us. Rabbana la tu'akhizna in nasina aw akhatana. Oh Allah, this is a verse of the Quran in SURATUL BAQARA, the last three verses of SURATUL BAQARA, and the second Rabbana, the first Rabbana in the last three verses of SURATUL BAQARA. Allah is saying, Rabbana la tu'akhizna in nasina aw akhtana. Oh our Lord, don't hold us responsible if we forget or we make mistakes. So if you associate any partner to Allah unknowingly, Allah will not hold you responsible. But the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, talabul ilmu wajibun li kulli muslim, that is, you seek for knowledge. That is compulsory for every Muslim. Walau bisin, even if you have to travel up to China, seek for the knowledge of your Lord, the knowledge of your religion, and not this modern knowledge that is competing with our religion. The Prophet prohibits us from doing that, because this is kind of knowledge that will make us drop our religion or look down to our religion like something that is outdated. Modern science today challenges religion. Modern civilization today challenges religion. So when you are engrossed with that knowledge, you will look down to your religion. You see a man with turban and mustache, you see him as an ancient and outdated personality. It's not outdated. This is the majestic sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. It is the majestic identity of the heavenly beings in the heavens, of all the angels. When the angels came down to help our Prophet in the battle of Badr and the battle of Uhud and some other battles, Imam Ali Karramallahu Ta'ala Waja'u explains their identity. He says he saw them with red turban. And red means war, artillery angels, the angels in charge of artillery. They were also dressed in the turban. So turban is not just meant for this worldly dress. No, it's a majestic way of, is a heavenly dressing code for those who belongs to the heaven. It is the identity of the believer. But today you will see a lot of people as Muslims, but they are shy. They are shy to tie their turban. They are shy to keep their mustache. Why? This is wrong. We are living that which is our majesty. If you follow the evil ones, even in the way of our dressing, you don't dress like a Muslim. So how do you expect to be addressed like a Muslim? If I die now, even in the midst of the kuffars, but with this identity, they will take me back to the Muslims. They won't just bury my body, they will hand me over to the Muslim, because they will say, this is a Muslim. What if you are dressed like them and you die in their midst, or you die where you are not even known? Whoever think that you are a Muslim, they will just say, they'll just bury him and do this, and that's all. That's all. Dressing code is a necessity in Islam. Those who you see, there is this idea today that we hear from people that religion is in the heart. No. If religion is in the heart, then stop praying, stop fasting, stop giving alms to the poor, stop visiting the Hajj. Religion is not in just in the heart. No. Religion is established in the heart and then controls the body, because this heart controls the body. If something is truly in your heart, then it should be shown in your body. How can something be in your heart and yet it's not in your body? Which means you are hiding something. You are a hypocrite. May Allah protect us. Bijay Sayyidina Rasulullah alayhi salatu wassalam. Maulana Shahul Isa Alhaji Ibrahim Inyas is now explaining to us that there are 10 types of people who are astray. 10 people who are heedless in their lives. The first person, man arafa anna Allah khaliqu wa lam ya'budu. Whoever is aware that Allah the Almighty is his creator and yet he ceases to worship him, such a person is astray. وَمَنْ عَرَفَ أَنَّ اللَّهَ رَازِقُهُ وَلَمْ يَطْمَعِنَّ بِهِ. And whoever is aware that Allah the Almighty is his sustainer, is his cherisher and sustainer, and yet he is not pleased with whatever he has as in form of his wealth. He is not pleased with whatever Allah apportioned to him. If you know that Allah is your provider, then you should be pleased with whatever it is he has provided you with. If you are not pleased, then you are astray. وَمَنْ عَرَفَ أَنَّ الدُّنْيَا زَاعِلَةٌ وَيَمِيلُ إِلَيْهَا يَعْتَمِدُ عَلَيْهَا. And whoever is aware that this world is a perishable commodity and yet he relies on this world. You know that this one day, this world will, even the economy is, in fact, there is this global agitation that the world will soon face an economic crash and a global economic meltdown. So when you now rely on this system that you truly know will one day collapse, when it crashes, you will crash along with it. May Allah protect us. Bijay Sayyidina Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. ومن عرف أن ورثته أعداء له ويجمع لهم المال ويترك نفسه. And if you ever understand, whoever understand that he will leave behind successors who are his enemies and yet he piles up his wealth for them, leaving himself, he didn't use his wealth to serve his creator, he piles up his wealth for these successors whom he knows that they are his enemy, and such a person is a fool. ومن عرف أن الموت آتية ولم يتعد له ولم يستعد له. Whoever knows that one day he will be visited by the angel of death, one day he will die, and yet he didn't prepare for it. ومن أيقن أن القبر منزله ولم يعمره. Whoever is aware, whoever is certain that one day he shall dwell in his grave, and yet he refused to furnish his grave. You are busy furnishing your home where you stay temporarily, but you didn't furnish your grave with your good deeds. Your good deeds are the furnitures of your grave. You refuse to do it. وَمَنْ أَيْقَنَ أَنَّ الصِّرَاطَ مُمِرًّا وَلَمْ يَخِفَّ السَّكَلَوْ. Whoever is aware that one day he shall cross the bridge of life in order to access the eternal home is his eternal home in paradise, and yet you load yourself with some kind of worldly responsibilities. You go to when you come to cross that bridge, you fall. Well, there is this dream of the maid, that is servant of Caliph Umar bin Abdul Aziz, the one who was also recognized as among the rightly guided caliphs in the Banu Umayyah. He was in the Banu Umayyah dynasty. He only ruled for 3 years, just 3 years. But in that 3 years of his, there was justice and equity in that 3 years, and that is where he is also referred to as a rightly guided caliph. May Allah forgive his soul. His maid had a dream that he saw the previous caliphs of the Umayyad dynasty, starting from Muawiyah to the time of this Caliph Umar bin Abdul Aziz, that they were brought before him on the Sirat, that is this bridge of life that you cross before accessing Jannah, and that one by one most of those caliphs fell into the pit of hell up to the time of Umar. And then he was telling that Umar that Summa Ja'uka, and then you were brought onto this bridge. And out of shock, Caliph Umar collapsed, and that was the genesis of his death, because the shock shocked him to the extent he collapsed, he became unconscious, and later on he died. But his maid was telling him, so he said, no, Najawta ya Umar, Najawta ya Amirul Mu'minin, you escaped. In my dream, you escaped that bridge. You were accessed into the paradise. But he has already broken down, and so he died. And may Allah forgive his soul. We just said, and it was recorded in history that when he was buried, a paper fell from the heavens down to his grave, and it was written on that paper that Minallahi, that is from Allah ila Umar, ila nasi, to man, anna Umar bari'un minan nar, that is from God to mankind, that this Umar that you have buried today is far away. He has been removed. He has been distanced away from the fire of hell. So he is going to paradise. The only man in history who has been recorded that after his death, a paper fell on top of his grave, and it was written on that paper that he is protected from the fire of hell. That is Caliph Umar bin Abdul Aziz, rahimahullah. وَمَنْ أَيْكَنَ أَنَّ النَّارَ مَحَلَّ الْفُجَّارِ وَلَمْ يَحْرَبَ مِنْهَا. Whoever is aware and is certain that hellfire is the home and abode of the evildoers, and yet he refused to protect himself from that hell, that person is a fool. وَمَنْ أَيْرَفَ أَنَ الْجَنَّةَ مَنْزِلَ أَحْبَابَ اللَّهِ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى وَلَمْ يَطْلِبُهَا. And whoever is aware that paradise is the abode of righteous servants of Allah, and yet he didn't seek for that paradise, that person is a fool. May Allah protect us from being fools. وَمَنْ أَيْكَنَ أَنَ الْإِبْلِيسَ أَدُوٌّ وَلَمْ يُحَارِبْهُ. And whoever is aware that the devil, that is Shaitan, is his enemy, and yet he refused to wage war on the devil. May Allah protect us from being such a fool. Bijah Sayyidina Rasulullah alayhi salatu wassalam. وَإِن كُنْتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ. Whoever, that is you, if at all you are in any iota of doubt, مِمَّا نَزَّلْنَا لَعَبْدِنَا, concerning that which we have revealed unto our servant, that is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah is challenging us. Whoever is that those who have doubt, is not challenging the whole of mankind, but anyone who has doubt in his heart. This raven was negated at the beginning of this surah, Alif Lam Mim. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. This is the book in which there is no doubt, and it serves as a guidance to those who are pious. Now Allah is saying, if at all, so every believer has no doubt in his heart, that is correct. But for those who have this doubt in their heart, Allah is now challenging them, because that doubtfulness in their heart is their disease, and Allah is trying to heal them from this disease. So Allah is challenging them. There are some kind of diseases that you have to drill the one who possesses that disease before you can cure them. If you don't drill them, they won't get themselves out of that situation. It's a kind of psychological disease. Allah protect us from such kind of diseases. So Allah is talking to those who have doubt in their hearts. May Allah not make us among them and our loved ones. Bijay Sayyidina Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. So Allah says, وَإِن كُنْتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِمَّا نَزَّلْنَا عَلَىٰ عَبْدِنَا. If you have any iota of doubt in your heart concerning this Quran, we have revealed unto our servant, to fa'tu bi suratin min misli, then come up with a chapter like unto any chapter in the Holy Quran. Bring your own chapter like unto any chapter in the Holy Quran. It is in this piece of verse of the Quran that all the ulama in the world came to the conclusion that the shortest surah in the Holy Quran is Suratul Kawthar. That is, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna atainaka al-Kawthar fasalli li rabbika wanhar inna shani'aka huwal abtar. That is, verily we have given you that which is abundance. So pray to your Lord and sacrifice. And whoever is against you, whoever is your enemy, will be cut away from history. This is the honor and the majesty of our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and the majesty of his household, of which Allah will say the household of the Prophet will inherit the earth. One day, the household of our Prophet shall inherit this earth and the heavens. A day will come, it shall be fulfilled. So, the shortest surah in the Quran is Suratul Kawthar. So, for those of you who are in doubt concerning the revelation of the Holy Quran, you should produce any chapter of your choice like unto any surah, even if this is the shortest surah of the Quran, and that will be comparable to what is in the Quran. وَادْعُوا شُهَدَاءَكُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. And bring your witnesses besides Allah, if at all you are telling the truth. If you concoct anything, bring your witnesses beside Allah. Even that your concoction is part of this ability that God gave you, you can never bring anything beside Allah. And so for you to create something from yourself, that's another image you are worshipping like Allah. And Allah has warned us that if فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. So if you create any surah like unto a surah from the Quran, that's an image, that's an idol already you are creating. May Allah protect us from that terrible sin. So if truly you are truthful, you can only be a liar to be able to do that. And that is why the one who started doing it, that in the history it was recorded that Musaylimatu, and the Prophet named him Kazzab. Musaylimatu Kazzab, the one who claimed to be a prophet during the time of our Prophet, he claimed that he can create something like unto a chapter in the Quran, and he created a chapter. He was imitating this surah to the Kawthar, but yet he failed linguistically, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, and all ramifications. He failed. He didn't meet up. Even those who could not understand Arabic could grasp it easily that there is too much of error in this your words. So nobody can create something like unto the Quran. No brain can do that. Maulana Shaul Islam and Ibrahim Inyas is now is quoting another verse of the Quran where Allah is saying, كُلَّ إِتِمَاتِ الْعِنْسُ وَالْجِنُّ أَلَا يَأْتُوا بِمِثْلِ هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ لَا يَأْتُونَ بِمِثْلِ وَلَوْ كَانَ بَعْضُهُمْ لِبَعْضٍ زَهِيرًا. Allah is saying that the Prophet should challenge the whole of mankind. Even if the whole of mankind and the jinn should gather in one place to produce something like unto the Quran, لا يأتون بمثل, they will never be able to bring something like unto the Quran. وَلَوْ كَانَ بَعْضُهُمْ لِبَعْضٍ زَهِيرًا. Even if they keep on supporting each other in order to produce something like unto the Quran, the whole of mankind cannot do that. And Allah is now, Maulana Shaul Islam quoted another verse again in the Holy Quran, فَأْتُوا بِعَشْرِ سُوَرٍ مِثْلِهِ مُفْتَرَيَاتٍ, that you should bring another chapter like unto 1/10 of the Holy Quran, if at all you can do it. And yet till this day no man or no jinn has been able to do it. And Allah now quoted فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِّن مِثْلِهَا, that even if you can bring just one chapter like unto a chapter from the Quran, and up to this day no man, no jinn could do that. And that is why that is the greatest sign, that is, no one is the author of the Quran. The Quran is from Allah. It's not even from the Prophet. It is from Allah through his angel, and then to our prophet, and then through our prophet to you and I. Everybody now have access to the Quran. This is a message from Allah. It is not from any human being. If you claim that it's from a human being, then which means a human being should be able to produce what a fellow human being does. But till this day, generations upon generation, this book is now 1,444 years on earth, in addition to the 13 years the prophet spent in Mecca, and that is 13 plus 1,444, that is 1,500, that is 1,457 years. But yet no human, no jinn, no even angel could produce something like unto the Quran, or like unto 1/10 of the Quran, or like unto just a chapter out of the 114 chapters that are in the Holy Quran. Nobody could create something like unto it. And praise be to Allah that He has sent the Quran to us as a nation. What a wonderful nation we are as Muslims. What a favor Allah has bestowed upon us. Praise be to Allah for that favor that He has bestowed upon us. Fa'tu wa in lam taf'alu, fa in lam taf'alu. So if you cannot do it, you cannot bring something like unto a chapter for the Quran, wa lan taf'alu, then you should know, O you man and jinn, you will never ever be able to do something or to bring forth something like unto the Quran, or like unto 1/10 of the Quran, or like unto one chapter out of the 114 chapters like in the Holy Quran. You can never produce something like unto one out of it. Forever and ever. This lan here means forever and ever. It can never ever be done. And on Judgment Day, there are some portions of the Quran that is going to be revealed to our prophet again. We will discuss that in our subsequent series. By the grace of God, we will tell you some verses of the Quran which are not yet revealed here, where they shall be revealed on Judgment Day to our prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فَاتَّقُوا النَّارَ الَّتِي وَقُودُهَا النَّاسُ وَالْحِجَارَةُ. Therefore, fear that fire whose fuel are men and stones that were worshipped as partners to Allah. If any stone is worshipped as God, such a stone is going to hell. And any human being that claims to be God or follows the path of delusion, such a person also shall become a fuel to the fire of hell. But hellfire originally is created only for the unbelievers. It's not created for those who have faith. But if you at all from the Muslim Ummah, anyone follows anything from the unbelievers, you end up there. But as a Muslim, you will not be eternally in hell. A day will come, Allah will remove you back to paradise, because paradise is your abode. But maybe something from among your deeds takes you to hell. May Allah protect us from that. No Muslim shall exceed 3 days in fire of hell. But a day in hell is equivalent to 100,000 years in our earthly life. 1 day of hell, because 1 day on Judgment Day, the Quran says, is equivalent to 50,000 years, and that is just the daytime. So the night time of Qiyamah is another 50,000 years. Just as our daytime here is 24 hours, our night time is also, sorry, our daytime is 12 hours, our night time is 12 hours. So a whole day in our earthly life is just 24 hours. So on Judgment Day, the daytime is 50,000 years of our earthly life. The night time is equivalent to 50,000 years. So a whole day on Judgment Day is 100,000 years. So if a Muslim should find himself in the fire of hell, no Muslim will exceed 3 days in hell. And that 3 days is equivalent to 300,000 years of our earthly life. May Allah not make us or our loved ones, our family, our communities, may Allah protect us from the fire of Jahannam, from the fire of all the fires of hell. Bija Sayyidina Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, wa bi ahli baytihi at-tahirin al-mutakhirin, wa bi kalimati al-Qur'an al-azim. وَإِدَّ لِلْكَافِرِينَ وَبَشِّرِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ أَنَّ لَهُمْ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ. And therefore give glad tidings to those who have faith and are righteous in conduct, that Allah has prepared for them a paradise which has rivers beneath which rivers are flowing. كُلَّمَا رِزْقُوا مِنْ رِزْقًا مِنْ ثَمَرَةٍ رِزْقًا And anytime they are being sustained in that paradise with any form of fruit or sustenance, all the believers who shall rejoice and be saying, Allah sustained us with this kind of fruits in our previous lives, in our earthly lives. We used to eat mango. Here's another form of mango in paradise. We used to eat cucumber. Here's another form of cucumber here in paradise. So the similitude of the life we are living here, masalul dunya ka masalul akhirah, the similitude of this life we are living here and all the comforts that we are enjoying here, Allah has a higher one in paradise, but which is recognizable. Once you see them, we will recognize them easily and we will flash back to our worldly life and we're able to recognize the ones in paradise. Here, there, Allah has brought something similar to what we were being sustained with in our worldly lives. And Allah, every believer has wives there that are pure from any form of period, or nobody will touch them before you. Virgins are there available for you in paradise, and that is why we are ordered not to adulterate or to fornicate in our worldly lives. The ones who perpetrate in that, whoever engages in adultery or fornication, such a person will end up in the fire of hell. May Allah protect us from that. Because we have, as a believer, there are 70 virgins available for you in paradise, and each of these 70 has 1,000 virgins under her who will be serving her just for you. And then plus these 4 that you are going to marry in your worldly life. So only go. So no matter how taste, no matter what taste you have for women, once you enter this paradise, you are going to be, you are going to be satisfied at the highest level. Anything that you desire is there for you. And all that you have promised is there. So just live this life patiently so that you have access to paradise. And the Muslim, that is the believer, will dwell in paradise everlastingly. May Allah make us and our children, our families, our parents, our communities, our friends and well-wishers, our loved ones, may Allah make all of us be among the dwellers of paradise without passing through any stress or any hell or any form of punishment, without even accountability. May Allah make us all enter into this paradise together with our Prophet and his household. We are going to stop here for today, inshallah. For those of us watching us, you should please share our comments, our thoughts. Let us share our comments and our thoughts, observation, corrections, or contribution. May Allah accept this from us as an act of ibadah. Sayyidina Rasulullah wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi al-ahyar wa sallam tasliman kaseera. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.